Today is another lovely day. It actually pretty was interesting today. I mean, I'm wearing this hoodie because I'm still working. I came up from the basement, which is super cold, to make this video, and I will promptly head back down there once I finish this. I have to work a lot. I probably won't even be sleeping tonight, but I wanted to make this video because it was pretty important. So, if you are not following the Bushiroad Global Online Store on Twitter or Facebook, you should probably do that because you're missing out on a lot of things. So, if you actually wanted this Rosalia voice actor set, you need to again follow this because what is happening with this set anyways was there was a restock. It's not a reprint, it's a restock because you can find this in other places. They probably pulled that stock from those other places and put it on the store. First off, a PR card is not included on this restock, but it came up 2 days ago and it sold out within a couple hours. And then last night again, they put up more of them. So I think there was at least 6 boxes still left. If you want it, you might want to get it. But the other news that came out was this. Trial decks from part of Japanese Weiss Schwarz titles will be on the Bushiroad Global Online Store. And what we have here is the 7 types of Hololive trial decks coming out. It is important to note that there will not be any booster packs, booster boxes. You're going to have to get them from your local store, Facebook guy, online store, whatever you do. They also offer a shot list if you want to use that. Like I said, this is horribly out of date for me anyways. The one store that was on here for my town, they haven't been in existence for a couple years, so that's how out of date it is for me anyways. I mean, yours may be up to date, but mine isn't. So again, what this actually means is if you really think about this, they're selling product to us. Trial decks. I mean, that's the good part of that is it's just trial decks and not booster boxes, but right now it is trial decks. And I say it's a good thing because there have been some issues with multi-trial decks, right? So if you go out to this online store, again, they've added a few things since the last video I did. I actually said there's no Love Live stuff, and then 1 hour later it appears, and then Cardfight Vanguard appears. And now we have Weiss. So again, if you haven't followed them, you might want to do that because they add things like every other day. And if there's something you want, you might want to get it. So right here, as you can see, is here are the 7 different decks for $22. There is sleeves, there is trial decks, or not trial decks, deck boxes, and there are also playmats. So they're selling us the whole thing minus booster boxes. You could supply up, sleeve, deck box, play on the thing, and you got your trial decks. And again, depending on who you are, there's going to be a lot of positives to this, and there's going to be a lot of negatives. So I'm just going to run through that right now. For me personally, this clears the path for something else, and that something else is right here. So this actually came up when I celebrated the quintuplet's birthday on May the 5th. And as part of that, I was saying how they could bring the quintuplets to English. And one of the things that Audrey brought up was the fact that having multiple trial decks is a really bad thing because stores have to absorb a certain amount of risk, right? So when you buy a box of these, there's 6 of them. So you could see what happens with these Hololive ones, right? If I just take 6 and multiply by 7, that is a fair amount of investment. I know, again, like, people are going to say that if you're a store or whatever, if you actually do the math, you have to spend money to get inventory to sell things. But in the end, let's just talk, use your multiplier. 6 times 7 times what a box costs, probably not that much, but if you want to buy 2 of those or 3 of those, that's going to be a lot of money and a whole lot of risk. So let's just go back to the original example. If I had set to buy 7 of these and then I have to buy a box of them, so 7 times 6. If I only know 2 people that are customers of mine that will buy every one of these, that leaves me with with 4 left of 7. So 4 times 7. That's how much inventory I still got. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to sell these things. So that leaves a bunch of risk on a store owner, someone or whoever sells Weiss, and they have to figure out if it's worth taking that risk. So when I talked about quintessential quintuplets, that led us, like down the path of stores. Some places will not end up buying these trial decks because they don't want to take the risk. And in Bushiroad actually offering product like this directly to the market, this alleviates that risk, right? So the stores that were nervous about it, that and would have people upset that there's no option to get trial decks, they have an option now. In that same way, there's going to be some stores or sellers that are going to pick up the trial decks. Some of those customers can go and buy from them, so it'll consolidate the sales. Hopefully they'll still buy booster boxes from the original store and then the trial decks from somewhere else. But this, at the very least, gives us an opportunity to have the original product actually delivered, and just now, there's a different channel that's actually selling these products, right? So to me, it's a good thing as long as they stay away from the booster boxes and the set boxes, the ones that actually have booster packs in them. If they stay away from that, I don't have any issues. If they are going to offer everything, that's going to be a problem for store owners, right? They're not going to like that. And again, I don't disagree with that if they were to go that route. But to me, if they stick with the trial decks for multiple releases, like for multi-trial deck releases, then I have no issues. I think this is a viable solution to that problem. There are also going to be people that, maybe your favorite is Miku or your favorite is Nino, right? You're just going to buy these two. You're going to say, forget it to these three. And you're just going to buy one. So, again, if you remember my talk about mapping, there is a huge concern about mapping or open boxes or anything like that. We know open boxes doesn't mean that it was actually searched. It just has some weak tape that may have broken during delivery. So, but you can imagine if you were to buy from this store, I doubt that there's an actual employee that is rifling through all the different boxes trying to find a sign card, right? And then throwing back the stuff. I would highly doubt that would happen. Maybe it would, but I highly doubt that would happen. So for anybody that is mega paranoid about mapping, this gives you, again, a trusted place to buy from, albeit like a higher price, but it gives you a chance to know that what you're picking up hasn't been searched at all, hasn't been messed with, okay? So again, there's a few negatives to all this, and the negatives are, I compared an online store to the Bushiroad store, and you could see the amount for decks. Decks are $19, Bushiroad $22. Bushiroad doesn't discount at all. If you buy 6, you're paying $22. For the online store, you're gonna get a discount if you buy a whole 6, and then there's extra on top. I bought from Bushiroad. I bought the Rosalia voice actor cards. All I paid was for shipping. With this other place, you're going to be paying tax and shipping. Also, same kind of thought here. With the sleeves, deck box, and playmat, you're looking at a bit of a markup, almost like 50%, except for the sleeves. I don't know what the deal with the sleeves is. They didn't mark it up 50%. But you can see there's a negative right there. The negative is you're going to be paying more. But again, no one's going to be messing with, no one's played with any of this stuff, most likely. So it's going to be a valid alternative to people. I think the only other negative I see, again, and I touched on it earlier, is another thing that hurts the local game store. And again, because there are some local game stores that sells these things. And they are able to, make some profit on it, because we've seen now booster boxes have been heavily undercut. We see play sets heavily undercut. I don't think trial decks have I think trial decks are just trial decks. I haven't seen anybody like sell trial decks for like $11 or something like that. Once we get there, I know the world's ending because now you undercut everything. You're just completely killing the market at that point. But the one last bastion of money was these sleeve deck boxes and playmats. And even though Bushiroad, it's not like they're competing. Like these numbers right here aren't saying like, hey, we're going to undercut our stores at all. It really is just giving another channel for people to buy from. So again, like most likely, if they sell out here, like the online store sells out, this will at least give people an option to buy these products. So again, it could be a negative because maybe people, like I said, trust Bushiroad more than that store. They may lose sales. But again, what we've been seeing is the dollar kind of talks. The dollar, your currency, whatever you use, the lower your price, the more likely you're going to get sales as long as you have a decent reputation, right? So I highly doubt that you're going to lose sales here. You may end up losing sales here, right? Just because people are out on the store that they go, oh, cool, they sell all this stuff, so I'm just going to buy it all from this place. So that's it. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Are they going to stick to trial decks? Are they going to offer a whole lot more stuff? I mean, this store, like I said, every day there's something new. I mean, that was one of the big things I said about, and they really know how to sell product, or at least create product for sale, because it keeps coming. And this is like nothing compared to the Japanese store that they have out there. There's just tons of stuff. Like I said, there was like a Morphonica music box that plays Daylight, which I totally want. $220 to get that. I think that's amazing. I don't know what the shipping on that is, but I want one personally. So there's just a lot of cool stuff out here. And again, if you are going to pick up this right here, there's what I thought was 6 left. Yep, 6 left. And this one does not come with a PR card. It is gone. So unfortunately, you're not able to get it. But the supply set's still here too. Like the supply set, I think there was 70 last I checked. So anyways, go out there, go to the store, follow them. Make sure you get the alerts because cool stuff is being added every day and you don't want to miss out. Wow, they actually sold this out. This cable mascot. So anyways, hope you have a fun day. I'm going to go back to work and hopefully I'm able to sleep at some point during the night.